Hey guys, it's Mahoney and welcome to another Tuesday tip. So first of all, I'm using my tracking method on this phone, so hopefully that makes it so it's better and I don't get messed up in terms of holding this up. I want to say at the beginning, I'm going to be running a marathon in 2.5 weeks. Yes, believe it or not, I am going to do the Chicago Marathon. I've actually been training since January for this. My significant other is a marathoner, so I told her after watching her last year, all right, I'm going to do a marathon, one and done. In order to do this, both of us are supposed to raise money. They give you the charity to raise the money for. So they gave us a list and we had to pick out of a list. That's why I couldn't pick a local charity. The charity that I picked on behalf of both of us, or that we picked, works with kids who have lost parents. And obviously that's something that I've seen and dealt with a great deal with all the car wrecks that I have to deal with. So that's why we picked that particular charity. All the money that's donated, I am going to be donating the equivalent to a local charity, which in fact, actually, I've already done that. And it'll be finished up the day after the marathon, the other portion of it. So anything that you donate, I'm matching to a local charity. And so is Tanya, my significant other. So it's not like we're not benefiting a local charity. And we have to raise the money this way because they want to create awareness of the charity. So I'm going to post the link for both of us. I would appreciate very much if everybody would take the time and please donate a little bit so that we can get up. We have to raise $2,500 total together. So $1,250 a piece. All right, today I'm going to talk about what's called stacking insurance policies. And this comes up a great deal in my cases. So what do we mean by that? Okay, so you're in a car wreck. And for those of you that have been watching my videos, you're going to know the lingo I'm going to be using now. The car that hit you, that was at fault, has a $50,000 insurance policy. So their limits are $50,000, $100,000, $50,000 per person, $100,000 per wreck. And you are driving a vehicle that you watched this particular, you watched my videos, so you have a $250,000 500 policy, $250,000 per person, $500 per wreck, which means you also have a uninsured, underinsured of $250,000, $500 per wreck. Okay. Stacking would be that if your injuries are great enough, you are able to stack both policies. So for one person, you'd be able to take the $50,000 from the liability car and add the $250,000 of uninsured, underinsured for your car and have an available insurance policy of $300,000. So if you had enough, if you were injured enough that you could collect $300,000. Illinois does not allow stacking. And this is something that the legislature runs and then it's interpreted by the courts, but it's the laws written by the legislature. In Illinois, your insurance policy, if you're in the vehicle that is not in the wrong, that's got the $250,000, $500,000, they get to offset their uninsured, underinsured with whatever you recover from the liability vehicle. So in this case, you'd recover $50,000, and so the most you have available is $200,000. And what happens a lot is both vehicles are $100,000, because you see a lot of $100,000, $300,000 policies written in this area. So if the other vehicle has $100,000 and you have $100,000, then all that you can get is $100,000. And this always penalizes the most worthy plaintiff, because the person that's not injured or isn't injured that badly, well, it's not a factor, because if $100,000 is enough to cover your case, then it doesn't matter that you cannot go after your own uninsured, underinsured. It only penalizes the people that deserve the money. So like I just had a case, young kid, girl, 10 years old, is in a crosswalk. Another young kid, 17, ran her over. She's terribly hurt. She's had 2 surgeries. She needs to have 2 more surgeries. It's going to impact her for the rest of her life. Her leg was completely broken in multiple places. The car ran over her leg. It's broken in the growth plate. They're putting in pins and screws and rods. They're going to have to take them out. She's not going to walk right. She's never going to run. Well, the car that hit her had a $100,000 policy, and she's covered by her mom's vehicle because as a pedestrian, you're covered by your auto insurance a number of times. Make sure you hear that, because a lot of times people forget that. but that policy was only $100,000. So the most that she can recover is $100,000 in that particular situation. Remember, any cap, any offset, any cap only penalizes the worthy plaintiffs. It only penalizes the people that deserve the money. Now, none of this makes any sense. Think about it. You have two people who are paying for two policies. They each have their own contract. Why don't you get to collect under both policies? It makes no sense. If one person failed to make their premium, you can bet that policy wouldn't cover, wouldn't apply. You'd get ticketed for not having appropriate insurance. You have to pay to have that policy, but you don't get to collect under the terms of your policy because of the way the Illinois law is written. This only benefits insurance companies. They still get to collect the premiums even though they don't have to pay. It's all contractual law. It could all be changed by the legislature today. The legislature could go vote. They could all of a sudden pass a law that allows stacking, and now you'd be able to get the contractual obligations that the insurance company said that they were going to engage in, and that's only what's fair. It's strange that Illinois doesn't allow stacking. Illinois is kind of a pro-plaintiff state, but that is a very defense. In Wisconsin, you can stack. And Wisconsin is not necessarily a pro-plaintiff state, but they allow stacking. So this is one that the law should be changed. This is one that I mean, I can't imagine that both sides of the aisle wouldn't agree with this. The traditional Democratic side is going to be pro-plaintiff. They should. That's kind of what they indicate in their position. So they would want a plaintiff to be able to get as much as possible. And a conservative, you should be able to get what you contract for. So if you contract for a particular policy, you should be able to collect under that policy. That's the terms of the contract. So that's something that the legislature should change. But right now, stacking is not allowed in the state of Illinois. So that's another reason to go check your policies and make sure you got enough coverage. I've got 1 million of uninsured, underinsured. Actually looking at moving it up to 2. I've got 2 million of a liability coverage. So that way I don't have to worry about those things. Thank you very much for your time. Happy Tuesday. And please go on to the link that I put up and donate. And I will keep everybody updated with regards to the run. I'm told by my wonderful woman, my significant other T, that I'm ready for this event. I got to tell you, I'm feeling a little weird about running 26.2 miles. But hey, it'll be a great time and a great way to see Chicago. Have a great Tuesday, everybody.